And across the country, politicians are doing more to target Latino voters.
As they should. Pew Research shows Latinos account for nearly 15% of all eligible voters, a number that's steadily increased over the last 20 years. But Latino voters don't always think their voices are being heard about the issues that really matter to them.
Marissa Rios hearing those voices in our For the People coverage.
A community rich in culture, dancing, food, family.
Our community is resilient. Our community is so hardworking, and they are constantly getting better at what they do, right? They want to do better.
It was all on display last month at the El Mercadito event at Cannon Park. I talked to voters here about the upcoming election and how the Latino community has been a target of attack for certain politicians.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
Words that still echo throughout the Latino community today.
It don't matter if your skin's like brown, if your hair is curly like this, you're targeted because what politicians are saying, about us right now, that we're felons, we're criminals.
But are those attacks grounded in reality? A study in PNAS, a peer-reviewed journal of the National Academy of Sciences, looked at arrest data from the Texas Department of Public Safety. It compares the criminality of undocumented immigrants to legal immigrants and native-born U.S. citizens between 2012 and 2018. Their findings show that relative to undocumented immigrants, U.S.-born citizens are more than 2 times more likely to be arrested for violent crimes, 2.5 times more likely to be arrested for drug crimes, and more than 4 times more likely to be arrested for property crimes. So statistically, the numbers don't back up the narrative that illegal immigrants are bringing in high crime rates.
That they discourage people, they instill fear in people. And that's not what politics is supposed to be about. That's not what this country is supposed to be about. This country was built on immigrants.
As a Latina, as a Mexican, American, immigration, a big one.
And because of the rise in Latino American voters, the community's vote can be monumental in the November elections.
And they give back to the community. So that's the population that we want to see voting, because part of giving back to your community is voting. Your vote is your voice.
Other issues that matter to local voters?
We want jobs to be available. We want us to be safe. We want us to have health care, access to services.
But when you look at Spokane County's ballots or voters' pamphlets, there is a language barrier that keeps some Latino voters from making it here to the polls or the Spokane County Elections Office. Voters' pamphlets and ballots can only be found in English right now. Spokane County is not required to translate them because there is no certain population that's not proficient in English that makes up 5% of the county's population, a barrier some Latinos feel silence their vote.
What we have done over the last several presidential election years is we have tried to help those people by translating ballots.
Mujeres in Action, a local nonprofit, has also been advocating for the county to pass a budget that would pay to translate the ballots. But as of now, there is none. So for this general election, non-English speaking Latinos will have to go to the League of Women Voters in order to get a translated ballot. Because of these barriers, Mujeres in Action is actively working to encourage young Latinos to vote.
Most likely they can vote, their parents might not. So their vote is really important because they're not only voting for themselves, they're voting for their family, they're voting for their community.
And that's what keeps this community going, their culture that's rooted in familial ties.
Go vote, like I said in the beginning. Our voices are their voices. My voice, I know it's my family's voice that can't vote. If you're just, at home, you're at work, and you're like, my vote doesn't matter. No, it does matter.
In Spokane, Marissa Rios, 4 News Now.